All right, strap in everyone, because we are diving deep into some seriously wild WWE news. Liv Morgan is out. Gone. Like, out of there. And it seems like it all happened crazy fast, you know? One minute she's everyone's favorite, the next she's gone. We're getting all this from a YouTube video by Fighters News in WWE, and let me tell you, they really break it down.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how this whole thing blew up from just that one incident. Her attack on Jade Cargill on SmackDown. The video keeps using words like vicious and calculated.
Yeah.
Like they're saying this was no joke, not part of some storyline or anything.
And it doesn't sound like your typical WWE scuffle either. This video, they actually talk about how Jade, and she's no pushover in the ring, right, actually got hurt, like really injured.
Yeah, that's what makes it so different from what we usually see from Liv, right? I mean, yeah, she's always been kind of known for being like this high-energy, unpredictable personality. But this was something else. The video calls it, get this, dark and disturbing. A total 180 from how she usually is.
Right. And the video goes into how fans and the other WWE superstars reacted, and it sounds like everyone was just totally blindsided. Some people were straight up mad, others were just confused. Nobody knew what to think, you know? Was this her turning heel? Did she just snap, or is it something even more serious?
And then you have Triple H's reaction on top of all that, and that just throws a whole other wrench in the works. The source is claiming Triple H, he's the chief content officer at WWE, was livid. Apparently, he saw what Liv did as, like, completely breaking WWE's code,
Yeah.
Like a violation of trust between the superstars.
And he didn't mess around, you know what I mean? His decision was, boom, done. Liv Morgan is fired, no second chances, no talking it out, just a straight-up message that this kind of thing, not gonna fly.
Which is crazy different from how everyone saw Liv before, right?
Yep.
She was the fan favorite. And this whole thing really makes you think about, like, accountability, right? Even the biggest stars, they got to answer for what they do. This situation just shows how high the stakes can be when you cross the line.
And then, to make things even more intense, Triple H comes out with an official statement. He basically just slams Liv's actions again and makes it clear how important respect and being professional is in the WWE.
Yeah, the source actually quotes the statement. Triple H says Liv's attack was a direct attack on one of our own, and that the WWE is all about respect, professionalism, and integrity. He's not just talking about this one thing, right? He's making this about the values of the whole organization.
And it's not just Triple H and the WWE dealing with this whole mess. The video mentions that Liv is apparently devastated about being fired. I mean, it makes sense, right? She lives for wrestling.
Totally. This isn't just a job for her. It's everything. So to have that ripped away suddenly in front of everyone, that's got to hit hard, like both for her career and personally.
So Liv, she put out a statement on social media. Basically, she owns up to what she did, takes responsibility for it. It sounds like a real apology, like she's truly sorry for hurting Jade, and admits she let her emotions get away from her.
It's interesting, comparing her response to Jade's. Jade, she acknowledges how serious what Liv did was and how she was put in danger, but she seems more focused on, like, getting better and moving on. Her statement is all about being strong, bouncing back. Pretty powerful, considering what happened.
And then you've got all the other WWE superstars, right? They're stuck in the middle of this whole thing. The source says there's a real split in the locker room, with some people backing Triple H's decision and others feeling for Liv. It sounds like a super messy situation emotionally.
Yeah, it just shows you that the WWE is like a family. When something this big goes down, it impacts everyone. Some people are all about order, rules. Others, they see the human side of things.
And one voice that really stands out is Rhea Ripley, who's known Liv for a long time. The video quotes her saying, "There is no place for such reckless behavior in WWE." So yeah, not everyone is on Team Liv right now.
It definitely adds like another layer of tension to everything. With Liv gone and everyone having different opinions, the big question is, what now? Will someone step up to fill her spot? Will the WWE struggle without her? And what about Liv herself?
And that's exactly what we're going to dig into in the next part of our deep dive. The totally uncertain future of both Liv Morgan and the WWE.
We'll be looking at what this whole thing might mean for the women's division, for other rising stars, and for Liv's career as a wrestler. Stick with us. So, like, with Liv out of the picture, there's this huge question mark hanging over the women's division, right? What does this mean for all the storylines they've got going on? Who's going to, like, step up and fill the space she left?
Yeah, and the video actually brings up how this whole thing could create some really cool opportunities for some of the other wrestlers, you know? With Liv gone, there's a chance for new rivalries to pop up, for like those superstars who haven't had much screen time to get their shot. The whole women's division could change in ways we totally don't expect.
It's kind of like hitting the reset button, right?
Yeah.
This whole incident could shake things up and lead to storylines that are fresh, exciting stuff we haven't seen before. The WWE could take some risks, experiment with different matchups and how the characters develop.
And it's not just about the other wrestlers either. Think about Jade Cargill, right? This could be huge for her career. The video, it points to her statement where she talks about how serious this all was, but also how she's going to come back stronger.
Yeah, this could be a turning point for her. She's already a powerhouse in the ring, right? But this whole thing could add another layer to her, you know? Like, will she be more careful now? Or will she use this to become even more dominant, even less afraid?
It's almost like a superhero origin story, right? You've got the hero, they go through this awful event, and then the question is, will it break them? Or will they come out of it even stronger?
And the WWE is so good at taking things that happen in real life and working them into their storylines. So I wouldn't be surprised if they use this to really flesh out Jade's character, you know?
Yeah. Like, they could show her vulnerability, how the attack really messed with her, both physically and emotionally. Or they could focus on how tough she is, showing her pushing past it and coming back to the ring even fiercer. Either way, it's going to be good TV.
And we can't forget about Liv. This deep dive isn't just about WWE, right? It's about what happens to her now. Will she try to start over with another wrestling company? Or could this be like the setup for a big comeback story down the road?
Oh man, have you seen some of the comebacks WWE has pulled off? The crowd would go nuts if Liv came back, like this changed person ready to take back her spot, maybe even explain what was going on with her before, what led up to all this.
That would be huge. And the source actually kind of hints at that being a possibility. Remember how the video kept talking about how devastated Liv was about getting fired? And her apology on social media seemed totally sincere, right?
It did feel like they were setting things up for her to redeem herself, giving her time to step back, think about what happened, and then come back better than ever.
And don't forget how everyone in the locker room is divided. That's pure WWE storytelling, you know? It creates tension, gets people guessing, keeps the audience hooked.
It's like they're laying the groundwork for this huge, complicated story. Liv trying to make things right, all mixed up with the drama and rivalries that are already happening in the WWE.
But there's also another way to look at this. The source kind of dances around it without saying it directly. What if this isn't some made-up story? What if Liv messed up for real, and this is it for her in the WWE?
That's a lot more serious, right? And it brings up a whole bunch of other questions. If this is the end for Liv in WWE, what's she leaving behind? What does this mean for the future of women's wrestling?
It makes you think. But it also shows how important it is to act professionally, and how there can be real consequences if you cross the line, even in the world of entertainment.
It adds another layer of, reality to the WWE, too. Reminds us that even though they're amazing at telling stories and putting on a show, the things their superstars do have real-world consequences.
So basically, we've got two possibilities here, both totally believable. Number one, this is real. Liv messed up, and she's paying the price. Maybe she'll try to make a comeback somewhere else. Maybe this is the end for her in wrestling.
Or, number two, it's all a story. They planned this whole thing to set up Liv for a massive comeback later. Maybe she'll take some time to grow, figure things out, and then come back to WWE totally redeemed and even more popular than before.
And what's so brilliant is we have no idea which one it is. WWE is keeping us in suspense, and it's keeping people talking, keeping fans glued to see what happens next.
Which is why this whole deep dive is so fascinating. We've gone through everything, looked at the clues, considered all the options, but we still don't have a clear answer.
And hence WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're masters at blurring the lines between what's real and what's made up. They keep us guessing, and they always leave us wanting more.
So what do you think? After all this, what seems more likely to you? Is this it for Liv Morgan in WWE, or is she going to make an epic comeback?
We want to know what you think. Keep looking for clues, keep talking about it. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to figure it all out.
Until next time, keep digging, keep asking questions, keep diving deep. So we've talked about what happened, the fallout, what might happen next, but the biggest question is still hanging out there, right? Is this whole thing, the attack, Liv getting fired, is it all just part of some big WWE storyline?
It really is the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And our source, that YouTube video from Fighters News and WWE, they're playing it close to the vest. They give you the facts, the reactions, the statements, but they never actually say, yes, it's a storyline, or no, it's real.
Which makes it so much more interesting, right? We got to put the pieces together ourselves and decide what we think. It's like a real-life WWE mystery. We're the detectives trying to solve it.
And there's good stuff to consider on both sides. Like, think about how serious what Liv did was, how fast Triple H acted, him going on to the WWE's code of conduct. It could totally be a real disciplinary thing.
Right. They didn't just sweep it under the rug or act like it was no big deal. Triple H was serious in that statement. This kind of behavior is not okay, and there are going to be consequences.
But then you've got all this other stuff that makes it less clear, like Liv's apology on social media. Yeah, it seems real, but maybe it's just really well written, part of a bigger plan.
And the locker room being all split, that's straight out of the WWE playbook, right? Creating drama, getting people talking, keeping the fans hooked.
Exactly. It's almost too perfect, right? You got people on Liv's side, people against her, everyone wondering what she's going to do next. It's the kind of stuff that keeps people glued to their TVs.
And don't forget about how that YouTube video presents the whole thing. The music, the slow motion replays of the attack, all the words like shocking and brutal and controversial. It feels like they're doing it on purpose, building up the suspense.
It's like they're dropping little hints,
Yeah.
just enough to make us guess, to keep everyone debating and talking about it.
Okay, so where does that leave us? With two possibilities, both pretty believable.
Number one, this is real. Liv screwed up, and she's dealing with the fallout. Maybe she'll go somewhere else, try to build things back up, or maybe this is the end of her wrestling career.
And bird two. This is all a story. They planned this whole thing to make Liv's comeback even bigger and better down the road. Maybe she'll take some time, learn from it, and then come back to the WWE totally changed and more popular than ever.
And the crazy thing is, we just don't know. The WWE is keeping us guessing, and it's working. Fans are invested, waiting to see what happens.
That's what makes this deep dive so cool. We've gone through everything, looked at the evidence, considered all the angles, but there's no clear answer.
And that's WWE for you, right? They are the best at messing with your head, making you wonder what's real and what's not. They keep you on the edge of your seat, wanting more.
So what do you think? After everything we've talked about, what feels more likely? Is this the end of the road for Liv Morgan and the WWE, or just the start of something huge?
We want to hear your thoughts. Keep looking for clues, keep the conversation going. You might be the one who cracks the case.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but remember, always keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.